Hey guys, so I was going to do a sway bar install for my Slicktop, and here's a little info. I'm swapping in a twin turbo sway bar into my Slicktop, and the reason is the twin turbo sway bars are 26.5, I believe, millimeters thick, while the NA and 2+2 and convertible, I believe all are 16 in the rear. So this one will firm it up quite a bit. The difference between these ones and the other aftermarket, even though they're the same diameter, is the TTs are hollow. So they'll have a little less strength than the upgraded ones. The upgrade, there's the suspension techniques, and there's the Stillen one, and both of those are solid pieces. To my knowledge, the Stillen one is adjustable, so at the end you can set the end links to be further back or further forward, and that will reduce understeer or give you more understeer, you know, whatever you want to set up your car for. So here's a quick inventory of parts. This is what you should have, and you should have the bracket right here, one bushing per side that goes over here, and you know, here's your setup for the non-adjustable stock end links. This one already has some ES bushings on it, kind of half of them, kind of weird, but this is off of a car that got totaled. So, and then here's all the parts kind of laid out for you, and I'll give you another look. So that's how you can assemble it. I may have to flip around this one at the bottom. Okay. And this bushing right here, to put that guy on the bar, it's split, opens up, should be easy to figure out. These brackets, you'll notice that one part is open, and the open part goes like this on the car. I believe that's upside down, but you'll see if you match it with your stock one, shouldn't be an issue. So here we go. I got everything painted and cleaned up and all ready to go. And the other bolt is back to stock configuration there. It's pretty easy to set up. And if you can't figure it out when you go and pull your OEM sway bar, just double check the configuration of the bushings if you can figure out from this video. Should be very easy. So I went ahead and unbolted the stock sway already, but I'll show you guys what to do. Okay, the stock sway, here's the NA, nice and skinny. This is the end link, it goes right up in here, and I sprayed PB Blaster on the top one, on the top nut right here, and that way when I unscrew it you need to get a 12mm on the top and a 12mm on the bottom, and otherwise the rod will just spin. And if you get the top one off, then the rest of the assembly will come down with it and you won't have any issues. Then you gotta take out the little support bushing right here. The one closer to the rear of the car is this way. That one you can just crack loose because the little plate here is meant to slide. And then the back side you have to unscrew all the way, and it's pretty long. And go ahead and do both sides, and you'll see it'll start hanging down after that point. And you'll notice the next issue is it's stuck on the exhaust. So next thing you gotta do is you gotta drop the center section of the exhaust, which I'm working on right now. Here's a can of PB Blaster if you've never seen it before. This is really good for killing rust on the bolts, and I usually spray it on the outer portion of the thread around the nut so that everything can crack, separate everything apart. Otherwise it's just going to be stuck. My exhaust was painted, so it's going to be a little harder. But we got 12mm, 14mm, and 17 for the exhaust. And we'll have to probably separate some up there. I'm going to see what I can do. You can also take out the little heat shield, but since it's already a struggle with the stock one, then I don't think taking out the heat shield is going to make it much easier for putting in the upgraded big fat 26mm one. So here I've managed to get the stock NA sway bar out so you can see for comparison. I'll show you in just a sec what I ended up having to do to get that out. It was a little easier than I thought, but probably getting the TT in is going to be a little harder. This one's about the size of my pinky, and in comparison, perspective is kind of hard there. Stand up. You can really tell in the overhead. Cute little NA. Okay, so let me dive in for perspective. So there's the exhaust. You can see here that the exhaust is unbolted. And I threaded the nuts back on there so you don't lose the gasket or the nuts. I did unbolt the upper bolt for the hangers because that was the easier one. And I did it on both sides. And now the center section is able to move a little bit, and that was enough for me to pull out the sway, and that was hanging right up in this area. I had a little trouble with it because of the placement of the jack stands and the wheel, but if you have any problems, you can also remove the wheel. But I was planning on removing the entire center section just because ease of use and just being able to throw this in and maybe playing with the exhaust unbolted. But haha, I wouldn't do that. I have more restraint and I'm kind to my neighbors. So yeah. And again, you can see with the underneath the A-arm here. Let me put this flat on the ground. There's the bolt for the sway. Let me make sure my pinky's in there. There it is. Okay. Very simple. And you like my camberware?